Hello, very good morning to you. Yes, we're a little bit late this morning. Do apologise about that. That is, the internet was starting to throw a little wobbly, but it's all reset. It's all fine now. So a very, very good morning to you all, and hope you guys are okay. Hope you slept well. Hope you had a good night's sleep. And wakey, it's time to get up. It's a little bit of the Wednesday Spiritual Astrology Show. I'm Phil Griggs, your host, and I'm shortly joined by the wonderful, the amazing, super talented Guillermo. But before that, so, good morning, guys. How are you out there? Hope you are all well and enjoying your morning so far with whatever you are doing. And yes, lovely to see you, so lovely people there. And yes, Lucy, we got your details. We got your details just in time. The pigeon flew in and just dropped it just before we went live. So yes, we got you there. Brilliant. And yes, good morning to Susanna. Very good morning to you all. And good morning to Sandra. And what... I could just make out your thumbnail there. It looks like you've got giraffes in your back garden. Did you know that? Did you know you've got giraffes in your back garden? Okay, just let you know. Anyway, good morning to you. Good morning to you. And even Guillermo saying hello to everybody. And even Charlotte, good morning to you. Lovely chatting with you last night. And morning gang, says Jay. Okay, all right, we're in the gang, the tribe, whatever you want to be. And yes, Lucy, yes, right, we have your question. And who else wants to come through? Yes, and we're saying hello to one another. And isn't that nice? Just such a friendly little Wednesday morning gang. Yes. So, how are you? Are you well? Are you well? Is everything going well for you people in your life? Is it all going all right? Well, we certainly hope it is. And even if it's a bit funny or different, well, we've got the solution for you on the show this morning. Yes. The first solution you need, the first thing you need is to sit down and relax. Take a nice, big, deep, relaxing breath. The second thing you need is a coffee. That's it. Sit down and relax even further. And the third thing you need is Guillermo. There you go. So good morning to you. How are you, Guillermo?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Phil. Doing good.
Good. It only seemed like minutes ago that we were doing our last show. Yes. Yeah, good. Okay, so lovely to see you. And we had a wonderful chat last night. I'll tell you what, that was one of the most inspiring conversations and interactions I think we had with you. Deborah just thought that was amazing, and everybody else coming in on this and wanting to know all their details and questions and things that's going on around them. So anyway, fabulous. And hello, Emma. Lovely. It's lovely to see you here. Susanna says, wow, what a transformation. Yes, the makeup. It's a little bit of plastic here and there. Yeah, ears and not as big as what they used to be. The pin pack. Who knows? Anyway, okay. Right. Paul says, I live in Suffolk, but as an engineer, get about a bit. Okay, that's very nice. Yes, he's not from Norfolk, really. He's and his real name for MI5 reasons, which we can't disclose apart from on this show, is he's called the Honey Monster, known as in the code world. Yes, if you saw him, you'll go, I know why he's called the Honey Monster. Anyway, so atmospheric stuff that's going on at the moment. We had a bit of chat about this last night. We've got this square between Mars and Saturn, which is going to slowly ease out, isn't it? It's going to slowly, very slowly ease itself out because Saturn's in no mood to go racing around the zodiac. And then we've got Mercury just popped into Scorpio and wants answers. I want to know answers. I want all these answers to loads of questions I've got, and Mars and Saturn just going, not yet. Yeah, it's a waiting game, isn't it? It just feels like a waiting game for a lot of
It
people, I
is.
think. Yeah.
It is. It is. But the energies today, the way I feel them, it's like, how would I say? So it's like we want to have, where sun is in Libra, so we want to think about relationships when we want to have a relationship if we don't have one. We want to have a better relationships if we do have one. And it's this feeling that like there's so many things with that Mars square, the Capricorn clump. It's like so many things that just burden us in relationships that are just so heavy. It's like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. And Mercury's gotten into Scorpio, but without any aspect. So when a planet has no aspect, it's free. It goes on its own. So it's either like you don't see it at all, like let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about the difficult stuff, or suddenly the difficult stuff comes up and like, oh my God, what's going on? What did you just say? No, so it's a bit that mix, but it's
Okay.
like this burden and this beautiful Neptune moon that is just so like heartwarming, and just says, it's like I just want to go back to when I was a child and everything was easy and everything was simple. So it's like wanting to nurture that aspect of ours. Can't we go back to be children again? Can't we go back to make things simple? And I think the answer is yes, we can. We can, but we have to define what it is we want. There's a Venus in Leo, and how are you truly yourself with that Mars conjunct Lilith in
Yes.
Aries, squaring the Capricorn clump? It's like, the to-dos would be the Capricorn clump. What to-dos, what beliefs, what old patriarchal stuff is there tying you up. We want to be free from that. We want to connect with what we want, with our inner child, Venus Leo, and we want to make it simple. And as I was saying, that we can make it simple, but it's a question of releasing those old patterns, really, and the hurt.
And I think a lot of people are doing that already. I think a lot of people are releasing these old patterns, and even the ones who are not, I think they're seeing what they've got to do. Do you guys out there feel like that you're releasing old patterns of thinking, behaving? Maybe relationships have changed around you. Maybe things have moved on in your life, and you are now thinking differently. Love to get your guys' response on this. It definitely seems to be the ether, the energy in the ether at the moment is getting us to realign ourselves and think differently. And I think one of the things I think, if I looked at this here and discovered what I'd learned myself through this. And maybe this is something that you learned yourself, Guillermo. Yeah,
Yeah.
happy to share. And one of the things I learned here is if you're on the right pathway, you're doing the right thing. You don't really have to worry. Uh,
No, you
No,
don't. You don't. Because the truth is, everything is perfect always as it is. Because life only wants you to be more you. And that's like a universal, absolute truth. Life wants you to be more you. So you can either acknowledge that or resist it. The more you resist it, the more painful it gets.
yeah,
So the more
yeah,
you acknowledge that everything is perfect as it is, and you don't know what that perfection is, and don't go into your mind to try to figure that out, then you'll start seeing things in its own beauty, and you'll start seeing how everything unfolds magically, and you'll accept what you're feeling. And if the thing is, if we don't accept what we feel in a certain moment, it gets worse. It gets
yes.
more painful. So then we think feeling is painful, but it's not. It's just feeling. So it is about making it more simple, and I think we're all going towards that.
That is lovely because that's the way I feel it. That's the way I would say if you keep your life simple, out any complications, not overdoing things. And even Alex writes in. She says, "I'm seeing how much I've taken for granted and learning to stop giving so much." And it sounds like a bad thing, doesn't it? When you're saying I'm not giving so much, but actually, it's keeping your life looking after yourself in that respect, rather than overdoing it, overdoing it
Yeah,
here, and whether it's
this
relation.
is yeah, exactly. There's a very simple way of seeing this. Okay, so where your attention goes, where your attention is, where your mind is, that's where your soul is. So
Yes.
if your attention and your mind is your husband, your children, at work, your friends, your neighbors, this, that, the shopping list, so that's your soul is basically splattered all over the place. So when that happens, your body is empty and you can just pick up all the yucky energy that of course resonates with you, but it's going to make you feel bad. So it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
We've been trained to do it that way, to like, oh, you have to be a nice person, you have to be educated, you have to give, you have to do this, you have to do that. And it's not true. It's not true. You have to be yourself. You have to have your energy with you, because when we have our energy outside of us, our soul outside of us, sooner or later we're going to feel the emptiness and we're going to start demanding others. And when we demand others, then that's going to create an imbalance in the energy flow. That's karma, basically. So
Yeah.
if your energy is with you, you're going to be in coherence. And when you're in coherence, whatever you do to people, whatever way you interact with anybody else, is going to be to the according to your higher truth and the higher truth of the whole. So basically, all we want to do is have all our energy with us and be selfish, be thinking about us, because that's going to allow us be in coherence and aligned and not generate more karma.
That's a fascinating thing, isn't it? Because there's two emotions here that I really pick up here. Really feel that, but which initially we get upset about because we think it's this way. One of them is guilt, because you'll start to think about yourself, and the other one is you're self-centered, becoming more self-centered. But it's how you're taught to. It's how the mirror is reflecting back from the past, thinking here where you're doing something completely different, how you're brought up to be. And yet,
Exactly.
but this is the guilt here is actually there is no shame in looking after yourself. There is no shame. No shame
No, and the
whatsoever.
thing is, guilt is the worst thing you can feel. Guilt is it's ego's poop. It's what doesn't allow us to be conscious.
I love
The
that.
more
Egos.
the more guilt we feel, the more we poop all around us. So
Yeah.
basically, we're shitting all over the place. We're filling our atmosphere with all this debris. So as you can see, pollution is just a reflection of what we're doing at an inner level.
Yeah.
So we're polluting our energetic space with our guilt, and we're polluting our planet.
Absolutely.
So I
Yes.
think if we stop feeling guilty, our planet will be able to regenerate, because what is inside is outside, what is above is below.
And I think as well when we talk about this, it's when you come into this own power here, and Jay says totally working, thinking, and living in a different way, learning to let go, and trust. And it's that old thing, that old patriarchy, that old control system that we're letting go of, whether it comes from family, wherever it is here. That to let go is like where you've lost control. Well, no, you haven't. What you've done is
No,
just let
no.
go of what you was controlling, what was restricting you.
No, to let go. So another thing I always say is, in comes the light, out comes the crap. We're just tubes that digest and through experience the light or with information that is coming into us. So if we let go of control, we're not. So if we control, basically, what we're doing is we're being constipated. And if we let go of control, we're just allowing the natural process of letting go. Um, the more you hold on to something, the more you try to determine an outcome, what's going to happen is that life's lesson, you're not going to be able to assimilate life's lesson, because also control is related to guilt. So you're going to create more poop. You're not going to assimilate the lesson. And what's going to happen is that life's going to give you circumstances in the outside that are going to be harder and harder and harder and harder, until all that just penetrates and shatters your ego. So what we want to do is, what we want to let go more often is just accept, which doesn't mean not do anything, but it means start training ourselves to be more in our energy and acting from the heart. So action should always stem from the heart, never from the mind.
Do you think that this was set off by Saturn Pluto?
Which part of
Yes, with
it?
part of
Well,
it. Yes.
yeah, I mean, Capricorn has to do with ego sealing for me, which is the ego's poop is what conforms ego sealing. And then Pluto, Jupiter, like puts a big magnifying glass and makes it big so we can see it. Pluto makes us get like really obsessive and stuck with the old patterns. So we just finish them up and it's like, oh God, I can't stand this anymore. And Saturn makes us be very, very aware of what's going on.
Yes. Yes, and I think, but the Pluto, the great transformer, transforming the old way and stripping off the old layers, like stripping off the layers of an onion, and getting down to the real core of the individuality. I
Yeah,
think that's a big
yeah.
thing.
Though the word stripping down layers is more Neptunian. Neptunian is like layers and film and just coming out, to get down to the essence. Pluto's action is more like, okay, you're gonna get stuck here. You're gonna just magnetically get stuck here until you can't stand there anymore, and you go, okay, 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 let go. That's Pluto.
Okay.
It's a bit
Yes.
different. So that's why
Yes.
you let go of the old, because it's like it's like whatever I'm afraid of, I'm going to be obsessively magnetized to. So say, for example, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to get COVID. Then I'm going to be obsessively magnetized to the possibility of getting COVID.
Yes. Yes. And there's a few people I know who are obsessed by that at the moment, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily to do with COVID. It's to do with something else. It's another belief system that's going on. They're just relating it to COVID. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So there's an underlying issue to the excuse of COVID, because normally what we do with our minds is we concentrate on the lesser of the problems.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
concentrate on the problems we have a belief that we can control. So, say for example, I have the belief that I can control this issue by using a mask, social isolation, and by washing my hands. Then this is under control. But the truth of the matter of the fact is that this is representing to me something else, and it could be different for each person. So this could represent to me fear of death. This could represent to me fear of codependency or fear of commitment to relationships. That could represent to me issues that deal with abuse of power and patriarchy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's whatever, I mean, the outer fact can be, the outer issue can be COVID masks and washing your hands, for example, or social isolation. But then what's really going on for each individual person is something different. And this is what we have to
Yes.
let go of.
Yes. And I think it's interesting, though. It's interesting when you see people walk around with masks now. It's like the mask is inhibiting and pulling back themselves so they don't communicate as so much.
Which
And
is not a bad thing.
yeah, it's not a bad thing because then you're more aware of yourself.
Because so everything is perfect as it is. So if we've been too much in the mind, too much relying on others, too much codependency, by isolating ourselves and pulling back, we're actually learning to be in our own energy. So I'm thinking I don't want to I don't want to catch this bug, or I don't want to inflict it to anybody. Then what I'm doing is my energy is with me.
Yeah.
So I'm training to be with me, and that's actually brilliant.
One of the things is something interesting as well, because the mask, in some respect, it's brilliant talking about this. The masks actually get you to slow down your breathing. You can't breathe as fast. And when you slow
That's
down your
right.
breathing, you slow down your mind, you slow everything down, and you then actually come into, I start feeling maybe of all the worries around you there, guys. I mean, tell me what you think, guys, out there. Do the masks slow down your breathing? When you're wearing these, as annoying as they probably are, but we've got to do this, do you actually think more about peace and calmness, or do you think more about yourself in your right way, in your soulful way? What do you think? What do you think? Answers on a postcard. Better still,
Yeah.
better still, even quicker. Put a message on the board there, and we'll read them out for you there. But yeah, when I'm out walking my dog, and everyone else is with their mask, as soon as the dog walkers meet up, we're all pulling them down and having a few words with each other and saying hello. Even my dog pulls down his mask. He's quite clever. Anyway, so. Yes, but you still have a chat with people, but you do think about things differently. It's not about promoting the mask. It's about ourselves, Alice. It's not about the mask.
Being aware. It's about being aware that whatever's happening on the outside that's triggering you something.
Yes,
that is there for you to look at something about you, right?
Yeah.
So independently of the opinion that any single human being would have about wearing or not wearing a mask. The fact is that it's compulsory here, for example. So it's like, okay, so I don't like wearing a mask, but it's compulsory to wear that. What's that making me do to myself? How am I relating to that? Am I feeling frustrated? What am I thinking about that? And what is it making me do? How is
Yeah.
it making me to relate to the world? How is it changing me? So what I'm an advocate for is using everything that happens around you to observe yourself and observe your reactions,
Yes.
because that's going to help you grow.
It's interesting. Some people coming through here and say they don't like this at all, don't like masks at all. And understand me. Ellie says, I have big breathing problems when I wear a mask. I have difficulty breathing. So I've stopped
Yeah,
going out unless I really have to. I understand it's not so nice.
exactly. So what's that? For example, for me, it's very difficult to breathe with a mask. So what I do is I go out, or that's made me go out early in the morning, see the sunrise, take a short walk around my area, so I barely cross any people. I'm engaging the few people I do cross. We always say hello and everything. So it's a different way of engaging with people. And then what I'm doing is I'm not going out so much. So I'm much more centered in myself. I'm not wasting so much energy just going around life, going zipping up and down. And like before, if I would go to I forgot this in the supermarket, I'd go and get it. Now I'm just, no, I'll go to the supermarket once a week and I'll get everything at the same time. So
Yes.
it's changing my habits and it's
Yes.
allowing me to not waste so much energy around as I used to before.
Absolutely. I think it is changing habits. And it's changing habits. If we look at this, it actually changes them for the better. Yes. How will it? That's interesting. How will it affect unborn babies? Okay.
Well, I think I can answer more astrologically than maybe physiologically or medically.
Yeah.
So babies born in this time with so many retrogrades and all this combination will have, in a sense, the burden of what we're collectively feeling. But at the same time, it will be very easy for them to go inwards and
Okay.
to do their inner work. It would be very easy for them because there's so much inside energy. So that means that as they do that inner work, they will become much more powerful in doing outer transformation. So babies born in this year with these energies can actually precipitate huge collective changes when they come of age in 20, 30 years.
This is interesting, and I totally resonate with that. That the people are, for this particular point, being born onwards and where we're going forwards here, actually going to start thinking differently and resonating more from the inside rather than the outside. Okay, great. Thank you very much, everybody, joining us this morning. We have a very big debate here. We stepped onto masks, didn't entirely intend to, but it's interesting the different comments. Some people are saying, yeah, okay, we can understand this, and a few people come back. Frances says that she understands this. Alice says that she doesn't like this one little bit, and understandably, I think this is important. Okay, right. Okay, let's see what Sally says. Sally says, I live in Spain and wear my mask as per the law. Landed in the UK and was appalled that hardly anyone bothered to wear a mask. Obviously not laws here, but then each country people
Yes,
have different rules. Yes.
but the thing is, this is the fun part. So we got the North Node in Gemini, and North Node in Gemini says everybody's going to think differently to you, and that's okay. So it's how can we accept that people think differently to you, to
Yeah.
ourselves, no? And this is the exercise that North Node in Gemini is doing us. The mask is just the outer excuse that life has given us to be able to do that, which is kind of better. That it's better to do that with a mask than to do that, say, with terrorism or a war. It's
Yes.
easier and better to do it with a mask. So in this sense, it's a lesser of the evils. I mean, it's funny in a sense that it the mask issue just makes so many different opinions possible. I mean, okay, you can split them in two and say people who are in favor of masks and people who are against masks. But the truth is, you can bring each of them down, and you can pull the strings and all the different opinions, and every single opinion will be different. And this is what fascinates me. So it's not about yes or no. to this situation. It's about how each single human being has a slightly different opinion to everybody else, no? And how all this can intertwine. And it's not about anybody being right or wrong. It's about accepting that people have different opinions and see things differently. So, for example, if I've met some people who are like older people at home who are very ill, and they are like shit scared about all this, no?
Yes. Yes, my
Personally,
folks are.
I find it like a very fascinating social experiment, which is like orchestrated by the stars, not by any human beings. And it's kind of curious how it's allowing us to be in contact with ourselves and with others or not. No, but I see people that are very, very scared. And I understand some of them. Some of them I can understand why and why they are all for masks. And I go, okay, fine, that's your opinion. I don't share it. And I see people who are totally against it, and I can understand why. And I said, okay, that's a different opinion to mine. So my opinion can be slightly different. Personally, I don't like to wear masks.
Yes.
I don't think it makes that much of a point. I mean, I know the illness exists. I know the virus exists, but I'm not sure about how big the threat is. So it's fascinating for me to see how different countries create different approaches to what's going on. So it's like a bit like a lab, like if you have different petri dishes all over the place. So this country has one petri dish, that country has one petri dish. I'm just watching and observing, saying, okay, so that country's doing that, and what are the results? And this one's doing that, and what are the results? So it's really fascinating if you see it that way. But then if your emotions come in, then my invitation is to actually observe what in essence is really triggering you. So, for example, there was somebody back there that was saying something about, was a bit angry.
Yes,
I can't
yes,
remember.
yes.
I think it's Shirley.
Yes, that was Alice.
That it makes you really activated. So what I get from you is a bit like you want to communicate. I don't know what star sign you are, Shirley, but I get from you that you're a communicator. You want to communicate. You want to speak out, and it's not about the masks that you want to communicate. It's about, I don't know, it's more maybe like a lifestyle type thing that you would like to communicate, or like, and seeing it as a positive thing that you want to communicate. And maybe this mask issue is triggering that so much in you that it begins to be like this, like, okay, I don't like masks, I'm not for masks, this is wrong. But deep down inside, you want to communicate something that is really yours, that is really how you would like life to be. And that's what's burning inside you. And maybe I'm guessing it. I don't know you, Shirley, but I'm guessing it.
There was Alice who says she doesn't like this discussion at all about our mask. However, I must say, for me being me, and anybody else who's an allergy sufferer, the masks to me are a saviour. Absolute saviour. And the reason being here is because as soon as I come to sweep up or move clothes around, my sinuses just go mad with like a hay fever. Like a hay fever. Just stream my eyes, nose streams, awful state. But as soon as I put a mask on and I'm sweeping up, hoovering around, cleaning up, I'm fine. So the mask for me is brilliant. Brilliant invention for me.
Yeah, I like to see things like imagine I was from another planet, right? So I arrive on Earth, and I'm like going, okay, what's going on here? Somebody told me this was different before, and like I'm seeing people do very strange things, you know. So it's like some wear masks, some don't, some pull them down, some don't, you know. So I like to observe things from that perspective, no? It's
Yes. Yes, it is. I think it's great observation. None of us need to take it personally offensively. I think it's just great observation. What we're all doing, but is this bit that I find that when I take my dog for a walk and I got a mask on because I'm walking around people, my breathing slows down. I actually was consciously aware of it. I thought, oh my God, yes. I feel like in a funny way, I'm not saying that it was, I want to do this, but in a funny way, it slows me down. I'm quite calm. I'm just walking around and my breathing is slower and I'm thinking about things in a different way. And so for me, has a different approach, but I'm used to wearing these because of hay fever. and maybe other people here think
Yeah,
they're
and then for
not.
somebody else, it might do the opposite. For example, for
Absolutely.
somebody, somebody with a Lilith Mars, or I have Lilith Mars. So Lilith Mars is cellular memories of being trapped and
Yes.
enclosed.
Yes.
So for me, it triggers those memories of being trapped and enclosed.
My memories, anything gets triggered with me is an interesting one, is where I wear a roller neck jumper or a tie around here. And I know where that cellular memory comes from.
Exactly. So this is the interesting part. So we can actually observe things as, oh, it's triggering something in me because it's moving something emotional. And what we want to do is that emotion, we want to acknowledge it and then let it go through you.
Yeah.
So then afterwards you calm down, which means that because we think that if we calm down, we're not going to be able to choose. And it's actually the other way around. When you
Yes.
have opinions and you are very emotionally excited, you're not choosing individually. You're tapped into the collective. Basically, you're a puppet to the collective. So the more calm you are, the more powerful your choice is. And we want to choose from calmness, from like clarity, from a sense of not being triggered. That's what we want to choose. So if
Yes.
something triggers you, then you can feel it, let it come through you, intend to let it go, and then you define in yourself what I like to live, what I like to have, and what I don't like to have. And that intention would be very, very powerful, much more than the other, because the other would be just determined by the collective consciousness.
This is very, very true. Very, very true. Even in psychotherapy and hypnosis, the best decisions are made when you're at your calmest, you're most relaxed. That's where you tend to make that. Okay, Sherry says, he does the opposite to me. I hyperventilate. Yes, I can imagine some people
me
it does.
too.
It is not
Me too.
Yes. Yeah. I can understand here. Okay, so loads of different opinions here. It's a great morning. Thank you very much, everybody that's joined in. And right.
It's very, look, Phil, this is what we were saying at the beginning. Remember, Mercury is in Scorpio and it's with no aspects. So it's like, okay, we don't want to talk about these things, but then suddenly everything comes up.
Everything
Right?
comes
And
up.
what do we want to do? We want to relate with everybody as if we were children.
Yes.
So children play in the playground and they don't care who's who, where they come from, what color they are. They just play with other children, and I play with you and then I play with you. And that's it. So it's that innocence. So can we relate with everybody else from a very innocent place and from very accepting place, accepting ourselves, our opinion, accepting others and their opinion? And yes, we can. We can have different opinions and we can have a conversation with different opinions, because if we connect with the innocence of a child, then it'll be okay because you are true to yourself. I would never, for example, I had a conversation, I remember once with my nephew, and he's very opinionated. He's very, he's like, well, like pro-vaccines for children. You know, every child has to be vaccinated because you can't have a child die. I mean, I get it. His brother died when he was 7. I get the opinion,
yes,
right?
So
but he's very opinionated about it. I can't question that opinion because I know what he lived through. So I can't question that to him, because if I do, it would subject him to that pain. And I don't want to do that. That's his business. So I remember discussing with him about astrology. And so he was saying, but do you believe in that crap? And I go, no, it's an experience I have. I actually experienced this. And I would never try and convince you of something that you have no experience of. I don't expect you to have faith in astrology. I invite you to experience it or not. That's your choice. But never to believe in something that you haven't experienced. So all our opinions should be from self-experience. And they should be respected in you and in others. You should never hold an opinion that it does not go along with your experience. And I think we should accept other people's opinions and see how, in spite of that, we can still have points of communication.
The most fascinating bit that I'm taking out of this morning's conversation is with you guys as well out there. In fact, it's from you guys out there. Some of you are very opinionated and say, no, I'm not talking about this. I'm off. Okay, fine. Some of you are engaged in conversation and understand. Some of you are saying how it affects you. You don't like it. Other people say all sorts of things. Sherry Lee says, not the vaccine. We're talking about vaccine. What about a cure? Well, that's an interesting one. Interesting one here, because Pluto's got a little bit to do with that, hasn't it? If we're looking for cures and things, a little bit of Pluto when we think about science and things like this, and how things were, how vaccines came out. I think that was probably more ruled by Pluto. Pluto
Personally,
finding
I think it
something.
would be ideal to focus more on stimulating the immune system and everything
Mm,
that gets our endorphins running. So we are have a higher vibration, and via that we are immune. Saying that from a different, like 5D perspective, the viruses are new information coming in. So in the degree that your egoic identifications make you resist that new information coming in, the your reality will be more difficult. So if we all, it's really as simple as just accepting that new information is coming in. This doesn't mean accepting that you're going to get the virus. The contrary. This is just like understanding. Okay, the virus isn't a bad thing. It's information coming into the planet to shift our frequency. So the
yes.
more we open up to higher frequency, to 5D's frequencies, the easier anything that's going to happen is going to be for us. So each person's individual reality, independently of what is going on in the external world, is completely different.
Okay.
I mean, I speak to some people and they have like this horrible reality. Other people have a wonderful reality, and other people have everything in between. So it all depends on your degree of awareness.
I think this is a big thing, and we're saying here about building up a resilience to this. And I think that the body is an amazing system. I mean, when we go over the years and things that the illnesses and things we used to get in past centuries, our bodies have moved on and advanced, that we don't receive this information anymore. Susanna says, look into the eyes, Debbie. They're the mirror to the soul, and the eye, mouth, and body language are no longer in synchronization. So you have to make adjustments.
By the way, what the synchronicity happens via the heart. And for synchronicity to happen, you need to be in coherence first with yourself. So what you think, what you feel, what you say, what you do is all in coherence to your higher self. And that automatically, through your own vibration, which can be enhanced by your voice, yes, will automatically synchronize people around you into their heart coherence. There's a very interesting experiment. It's on YouTube all over the place. If you just write down in YouTube synchronization of metronomes, then you'll see how like they get a table of, I don't know, 20 metronomes, and they just start putting them all into action, and they all go clack, 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 clack in different movements. And after like about a minute or so, they're all synchronized.
That's clever. That's clever. Now, in answer to this, Susanna, one of the things I think is your subconscious is amazing at being able to detect the aura. So the moment you start to connect with somebody, even though you can't see their mouth, but you can see their eyes, you're going to immediately resonate and think, I'm attracted to this person. The mouth is something else there, but it's like sat next to someone on a bus, even though you're both wearing masks and you can sat next to, you can't see their mouth, but you can see their eyes, you feel their energy. As soon as you sit next to them, sometimes you want to immediately engage in conversation because you feel a coherence, something between you both, which puts you in a resonance on the same frequency. Yet you pick up that subconsciously. It's not necessarily by looking at the mouth.
Yes, and exactly. So we can use this as an opportunity to figure out different ways of engaging communication with people. And I don't necessarily mean like, okay, yeah, Zoom, FaceTime, but no. Like the energetics, like the eyes, like body language, it's like when you're deaf or when you're dumb or when you're blind, that you have to use other ways of communicating to people, and then so you develop other senses. So this is another thing that we can do, try and see those other senses. Or for example, I remember one thing you said, Phil, which I love and I use now all the time, is like via the Zoom calls. So the energetics is different than when we are live. So when we're live, the energetics can be too enmeshed.
Yes.
But via the Zoom calls, the energetic connection with the other person can be more pure.
Absolutely.
So it's about connecting to your higher self and then to the higher self of the other person. And you can actually do that via like online, live online calls and stuff like that. And I've even had the experience of like doing a class with people and having, I don't know, maybe 6 people or whatever. And I can actually feel the person I'm with. I can feel in my body what they're doing, and it's via a Zoom call. So it's different ways. It makes you more able. You are able to train other aspects of yourself,
You,
other types of
yes,
communication.
you start using your intuition, your spirituality, that inner wonderment inside you. Now, I love this, Sandra. Sandra, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. She says, I have to wear dark specs and folks can't see my eyes. And she's wearing a mask. Sandra, can I just say to you, when you're walking around with two giraffes behind you, people are going to want to talk to you. They really are. They're going to want to find out what's going on with you. Anyway, I agree with this. I also have a problem not being able to hug people, even with the mask on. Is it distance or mask? Why both? I agree with you. As far as I'm concerned, if you're wearing a mask, you take the right protection. I would not ignore hugging people. I totally.
But for example, hugging is something that many of us have as a deficiency when we were very young, when we were babies, because either our mom was very austere or very strict, or because she was too busy doing things and her body was too tight. So when she actually hugged you, it didn't feel like a hug. So this means you grow up with that lack, with you don't really, there's a difficulty to actually register hugs because your mom really didn't hug you like heartfelt hug. So the situation can actually put that into evidence and say, oh my God, for me hugs are really important now. So in what way can you now manage to get hugs? Maybe you can hug more your family, maybe you can hug more your closest friends whom you do see, because we sort of, like, you can't see like small groups of friends. I don't know, whatever. Each one invents whatever they want. So how important are hugs for you? How healing can they be for you? So do something proactively to go look for those hugs. Hug people.
Totally. Totally. I love hugging trees. I'm sorry, I am one of those tree huggers because I love trees and I think trees are awesome, awesome bits of nature, and to hug them and feel that nature is amazing. And it's interesting here because if you've got a mask on, it's great sometimes to be able to hug someone, because to hug someone passes all the information across that you want to get across to that person. How lovely it is to see them, to meet them, whatever it is. And it's lovely when people come up to you and they say, here, you do hug, don't you? I say, yeah, I do.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's brilliant.
So it's how valuable is hugging for you? Or for example, something very British is small talk. Yes. Oh, the weather's lovely today, and so often, people can go, like, small talk can be a good thing because it's a way to initiate a conversation, or it can be just too superficial and you never get through that. So, okay, so having the situation can actually allow you to see the value in small talk, and maybe to do a more deep felt small talk, or maybe to actually talk less small and deeper right afterwards. So it's actually making us aware of all this. We were just on automatic pilot.
Yeah.
And this is making us aware. I mean, any change is going to make you aware of everything. It's like, I don't know, if you lose a limb suddenly, you got to be aware of all your body posture. You got to be aware of how you would hold things, how you would keep your balance, how you walk, I don't know. You have to be aware of so many things. And this is what this is making us do. It's be aware of so many things that we took for granted.
This is amazing. This is such a lovely morning this morning, and so many information here. Sally, I just want to say this to you. I'm a BSL communicator, and wearing mask where you can see your mouth is great. It just clarifies what you're saying, not only with your hands and body language, but also the mouth shapes. I must admit that must be difficult. Maybe we can start doing things with our eyes. Like.
I'm engaging a lot with my eyes. Yeah.
And yes, okay. And also, let's kind of have a look at now. This is interesting. Great. Yes, I hug trees, but not when the giraffes are around. Yes, they get very jealous. Very, very jealous. They love trees too. Interesting. My glasses are broken. Are we me? Okay, I'm not sure what that meant. Something there. And this Emily. I love hugs. My parents never hugged me or my brother. And she went on to say here, uncuddle. So I think this is where I know Eleni, know you from years back, that yes, you're a very huggy person. I even. Okay, hung my cat. That's nice. I think you mean hug. I don't think you mean you hung your cat.
It says hug. I didn't hug
That's
my cat. It's just I hug my cats.
yes, yeah. I think I'll go to that one. I think you meant what Sherry was saying here. You hug. Okay, you don't hug. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when we hug, we can not only hug but also be mindful of how it feels when you hug.
Yes.
So, can you feel the other person's or the other or your cat's or your dog or whatever? Can you feel the heart? Can you feel the warmth? How does
Yes.
that make you feel? How do you engage? Can you feel that you're receiving but giving at the same time? Or are you only receiving? Or are you only giving? So let's be aware. Let's use all these things to be more and more conscious of who we are.
I love my dog. My dog is hilarious, but when we have hugs, I'm very aware it's a two-way thing. He knows I love him, and I know he loves me. So it's a brilliant, brilliant connection. Mad as he is. Anyway, right, okay, Charlotte. Oh,
We
sorry.
want two-way communication. We
Yes.
want two-way communication.
Oh, yes.
Two-way connection.
It's
So
beautiful.
how
Beautiful like
are we
that.
connecting? Because if we are givers, for example, somebody who's a giver, who's a caretaker, who's somebody who's always thinking and with their mind and how are they feeling? How are they feeling? What should I do? And all that stuff. Basically, you're not in yourself. So even though you think you're a giver, you're not giving of yourself. You're giving of your to-dos, but not of yourself. And also, you cannot really receive from others. So this situation we're living, this 2020, is also allowing us to really, like, where are you really giving from? Are you really giving of yourself? Are you allowing yourself to receive? Or are you afraid of engaging? Or are you afraid of commitment? Remember, keep it simple. Be like a child. Observe life through a child's eyes, and then you'll be able to engage with life and other people and other beings in a much more innocent and pure fashion, which is what we want to learn.
This means, folks, when you have a hug and a cuddle, whatever you want to call it, it's got to take at least 5 minutes to work out these energies of giving, receiving, what this means, what the other person's feeling, what you're feeling, the balance, the giving, the receiving, and all this stuff. It takes 5 minutes. So don't rush a hug. Okay, let's go on to Charlotte. Charlotte, very, very good morning to you. You wrote in, and yes, loving all your responses this morning. This is such an interesting, engaging conversation we'll have with you, and brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlotte, you wrote in. Very, very nice. Very nice to meet you there. And she wrote in and said, yes, there she is. She wrote in and she says, I want to love reading. I want to love reading. I said, yes, sure, let's have a little one here. You've gone for colour red. You are 314 for your numerology and a personal year 9. Very interesting regarding romances. Sorry, beg your pardon. Change the situation. The medium was for last night. Today she wants to know about opportunities offered in a career. Beg your pardon. And you got there, completely went round wrong way there. Stay or leave opportunities offered in the current employer, but not happening. So should she stay or should she go? Should she stay or should she go now? No, it was a career reading. Yes, we got that up there. Yes, it's your career reading. So looking at the career side around your life here, as I look at this, is a 314. The three-part tier is, yes, I can understand this energy around you, which is very engaging towards people feeding information back forwards to you. And it gives you hope, doesn't it? When someone says to you, oh, yes, it looks like there's career progression coming up, but nothing's happening. Nothing's there. Now, but your other number here is a 1. So although people are saying to you, hey, there's a great opportunity coming up within your career, but it's not happening yet, your 1 takes you back to yourself here. And I would say here, looking at your numerology chart here, one of the important things I say to go and do is to really get within yourself and discover what is it you want. If you got the career projection that they are talking about, would that make you happy? Would that make you feel like that's what you want? Is this also maybe a case of thinking, yes, okay, it could make me a little happier, but what about if you were to do something else completely different? Perhaps. I'm just throwing this in here because what I'd like you to do is start really resonating inside yourself about what it is that's going to make you feel secure and good about yourself. Your 3 here is very much engagement with other people, and sometimes it's we're not relying on this. I understand this, we're not relying on this, Charlotte, but we're not relying on this just to be contented because other people are throwing us these opportunities in life. It's what you want. That was the most important bit. And you're in a personal year 8. Personal year 8. So this really is about strength, your own strength. Yes, I can understand that you're at a crossroads. That's a crossroads I'm at. I can understand it. And for you to sit in the center of this crossroads and be in a very peaceful place and discover what it is you want, I think is the most important part. Because then if you had 2 opportunities, A, you found another job, and B, you were offered a promotion, what would you do? What would be important to you? And the big question is, what is it you want? Deep down, career-wise, what is it you want? Very deep times in a certain aspect. And Mercury in Scorpio, I would say this takes us down deep into these particular areas to discover what it is you're really looking for. And I'll come back to this in a minute with the cards in just a moment. But I'm going to pop down the road to Javier to see what Guillermo wants to say.
Yep. So the thing is, you have a lot of Virgo energy. So there's Moon, North Node, Jupiter, Lilith, and Saturn all in Virgo. So there's a big tendency to want to serve the way you think people want you to serve. So it's Virgo's about serving, but high Virgo's about really acknowledging what others need and serving the needs of others. But low Virgo is about, okay, I'll do things really well. So you go, oh my God, you're so good. And then I feel like I get recognition, but that's a bottomless pit because that'll never make you feel really satisfied. No, so that's not the way to go. Even though North Node is in Virgo and says, do things, always do things and don't sit back, no? But you've got, I think the key is that you've got Mars in Leo and you've got a beautiful Neptune conjunct your Sun Uranus. So that can give you like a lot of inspiration and creative impulse to choose what you want. But what you want might be slightly out of the box and you don't trust in your own self-value. So this is all about really trusting your intuition, trusting your self-value, and allowing yourself to think out of the box, to not expect other people to react the way you expect them, whether it be a boss, a partner, or whoever, because Pluto Libra, right? So to allow yourself, allow your imagination and your instinct guide your life in spite of people's opinions, and not expecting to receive whatever it is that you expect to receive, because it's in the expectation where you're going to get it wrong.
Yeah. I think that's interesting. And the thing I'd say to you here is where we can't sometimes communicate with our mouths. Charlotte, I would say to you, just by looking at your cards here, without looking at the mouse, in store for you. Okay, in career. Career modes. You have the 7 of coins here, which is interesting because this is about working towards your goals, where you're going to. And sometimes, would you understand here, your best way of sometimes thinking is by doing. If you're doing things, processing things, keeping things physically moving, your cards are coming suggesting here you're really good at doing things, making your decisions when you're active. I know I'm saying here to get deep inside yourself, but whilst you're there, even if it's doing a hoovering, going for a walk in the countryside, taking a dog for a walk, whatever it is, whilst you're physically moving yourself, you're great at making the decisions you need. And sometimes I do this and loads of other people do it. You actually talk to yourself out loud. So it's saying here, okay, I've got this opportunity, this is where I'm at, how am I feeling at the present time here? Talking to yourself as you walk a dog in the woods. And the trees are probably looking at it going, okay, that's an interesting conversation with one person. And you're talking to, but you're then discovering yourself answers. For me to say to you, okay, what's the best way for you? Well, you've got, in a sense, not 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I would say exactly what Guillermo says, still the key here is your bliss, your absolute dream bliss is outside the box.
Yes. And then, like you said, because of that North Node in Virgo, movement is key.
Yes.
Because the more you move, the less your mind moves. Okay. If you stay still, your mind moves too much and then you lose it.
Let's lip down the other end of the road and let's go and have a word with Lucy. Lucy, she writes in here, she just wants, I want a love reading. We'll love reading here. And you've gone for the colour pink. And pink is very, very good about love. And I'm just picking up your energies here, in fact, would you understand here that you're talking to a lot of people there, Lucy, because your energy coming across here. Now I've actually got the spirit world coming once and step straight in. I get chatty, 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 chatty around your people. Would you understand here, Lucy, that in some respects here, yes, you're ready to move into a relationship, but part of you is guarding backwards, just holding back. But this is also what I pick up around you too. And this is a lovely lady. I think it's your mother here, where she loves coming in. I'm sure she just pops in on Wednesday shows, just a cup of coffee and a chat to you in a sense like this. But one of the things I feel with her, what she's saying to me here is. Yes, love is a important thing here, but I feel here it's about the laughter, the need of laughter to engage in a funniness rather than making it too serious. This is what she's saying to me at the moment here. And then love will come out of that, because the first thing I really feel that you're going to discover yourself is the love of yourself. The love of yourself, then everything just goes ping, ping. And I think it's not because you don't love yourself. I think it's what you've been through. What you've been through in your life here. And I think that's where you're going to rediscover yourself. So it's laughter. Love is laughter. Laughter, happiness, enjoyment, and the funniness in life. And I will send you straight down the road to Javier to see what Guillermo would like to say.
So Lucy has a Sun conjunct Mercury in Libra. So Libra is all about relating to others and relationships, and it's very nice and soft and all that stuff. But you have a South Node in Scorpio, which says it's like past lives, too much codependency, and this life it's all about holding yourself, and also that Moon in Taurus conjunct the North Node. It's about the importance of connecting to your body and relying on your body, so that way when you relate to others, you don't slip into the codependency. So I really suggest with this combination to do sports, because sports is going to help you have security in yourself. So if our bodies are strong, if we know how to hold, like you do aerobic exercise and you know how to hold intense sensations in your body, then you don't need to slip into codependent relationships, because you can actually, okay, I can bear with this, I can hold this sensation, I can hold this feeling, I can hold this, what's going on. And I'm not scared. I just go for a run. I breathe a little bit and, I'm fine. So you need to really cultivate your body to be able to hold all those feelings, I feel.
That's a lovely way of putting that, actually. I think it's a message to all of us, really, that if we feel fitter about ourselves, then we don't become codependent on other people, because we feel physically stronger. It makes us emotionally stronger. Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
Lucy, can I just say here, it's not far. It's not far. You've got the lovers here. You've got loads of guys around you who want to talk to you. And you've just got to think for a little while, just where you're going. And, oh my goodness, you're going to be so happy relationship-wise here with the Empress. And I think here is a relationship that's going to make you feel like magic. And if I looked around time frames, I get the feeling here, you're only a matter of weeks. And I think November is a lovely time relationship-wise for you. Beautiful time. And you'll step into that and have a great time there. I do want to say here, guys, we've just stepped over a little bit over the hour, but Guillermo, I think that's absolutely fabulous. And Sherry, you've just asked here, are you doing readings or do you have to book in advance? You don't have to book in advance. You need to do it earlier on in the show. Here. Alternatively, yes, if you book in advance, we just need your date of birth, we need a favourite colour, and we need your question. And then we can do a reading for you. And this is the next show that's going to be on is going to be on Sunday. It's at 7 o'clock. And also here, I'll just put that up on screen from the producer. If on Tuesday, I've got the fabulous Jodie Pearson coming in on the show. She's a marvellous, marvellous lady, absolutely magical with positivity. Been through the highs and lows of life, been to super success, and still is a very, very successful lady. So the highs and lows of life, she's going to tell about positivity, what keeps her spirituality alive, how she feels so great about life, and where her journey is going to go in front of us. I'm sure we'll find it a very inspiring show. And so look forward to that next Tuesday. But Guillermo, this has been absolutely fabulous. And yes, last night was magic on the show, and today is fun. Well, it's been so interesting, so engaging. I know. I do apologise, guys, if this upset a few of you regarding wearing masks, but it's just the not the mask; it's the other processes around it we were discussing and how that may have changed people. Don't forget though, eye language is everything. Eye language. We can't say your mouth. Just
Heart.
yes, and a heart, wink. Yes. You got a twitch. The Morse code through your eye. Magic, magic, magic. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a wonderful morning, and see you guys very soon. And you never know, I'll do a pop-up during the week. But see you very soon. In the meantime, take care. Just going to quickly nip up here what the producer just said. And yes, she just said, bye. Have a great day. See you all on Sunday. And guys, have a terrific week. Don't forget, loads of love and burgers.
Bye.
Love and burgers. Vegan.
Bye.
Vegan or veggie burgers. Yeah, vegan or veggie burgers. You guys take care. See you soon.
Bye.